Hey guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Eric, and today I'll be showing you guys how to create an orchestral template inside FL Studio. In this template, I'll be organizing the instruments in the same order as an orchestral score. And the reason why is because if I wanted to export this as a MIDI file and then import that into a notation software such as MuseScore, it'll be easy because it's already in the same order. Now I'm going to load up my VST, and you can use whatever VST you want to use, but I'll be using the Play Engine by East West, and I'll be loading up Hollywood Orchestra. So the first instrument we'll be loading up will be the piccolo, because it is the highest register instrument in the woodwind family. And so we're going to go to the key switch patch right here, and we're going to click add. So now that this instrument is loaded, what you want to do is rename this as piccolo and then KS for key switch, and that's so we don't get a bunch of play VST x64 down the line and everything is organized. So next I'm gonna load up BRSO Articulate, and this is a great free plugin that allows you to change the articulations of key switch patches by using the color tool in FL Studio. I'll be showing you an example of what that is later, but this is a great little plugin and it's also free, so I'll be putting the link in the description below. So now what you want to do is you want to click this little arrow, and if you are a East-West user like me and you also use Hollywood Orchestra, they have presets for that, so that's really nice. And I'm going to go down to no read and find piccolo, and there you go, all the articulations already loaded in for you. And now we're going to have to load both of these together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this little settings gear over here, and then I'm going to click this settings gear over here, and here I'm going to be changing the input port of this MIDI to 1, and we're going to be changing piccolo also to 1 for the ports. So for every instrument that you do, you're just going to keep going up, so the next instrument will be 2 and then 3 and then 4, and then just make sure that they match each other. And so now we should be able to play some notes over here. Alright, so now we know that those are successfully linked together. That will be good to go. So now I'm going to be doing the same for all the other woodwind instruments and then all the other brass instruments. And then we'll be coming back. Alright, I just finished the woodwind section of the template. And as you can see, we have all these BRSOs and our VSTs divided like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move all these grayed out ones, which is the original VST, to the bottom, and then we're going to keep this BRSOs on the top, because when using the template you'll actually be using these BRSO instances instead of using your VSTs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this just like that, and then I'm going to click Alt and then click the down arrow, and we'll be able to move it down. So once it goes down, we're going to click Shift, and then so click, Shift, click, and then Alt down, and then Shift, click, Alt down. So once this is all moved down, I'm going to color code this, and for the woodwinds, I make it blue, just like that. Okay, now that this is done, we're good with the woodwind section, and now we're going to move on to the brass. A quick tip if you want to move all these at once is to hold down Shift and then left click the first one you want to move, and then drag it all the way down like that. And now that they're all selected, click Alt and then the down arrow, and there you go, just like that. Alright, now I'm going to move on into the strings, and this is a bit more complicated because for strings they have so many articulations and there isn't any key switches, because the East-West key switch only has like long notes and no short notes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to only load up the most basic standard articulations that I think are the most useful. So I like to use the staccatissimo articulations for sketching, so I'm going to add that in. Violin 1, staccatissimo. And then I'm going to be doing that for all the other instruments. Alright, so now I'm going to add in all the long notes, and just keep in mind that this template is for sketching, and When you're done sketching, you could definitely add in more and more articulations. So for the first violin, I'm going to add in the marcato sustained right here. And I'm also going to do that with the second violins too. Alright, next for the violas, celli, and basses, we'll be adding in just regular sustain patches. And this is for chords if we're creating them. I'm going to be using just any of these works fine, because you can always replace these later to suit your needs. So viola, sustain, right there. And I'm going to do that with the cellos and basses. Alright, now that we're done loading up every single instrument in our template, we're going to click shift and then click the first instrument, and we're just going to highlight all of them just like that. And this is the best part. We're going to click control and then L just like that, and boom, look at that. It has created a mixer track for all our instruments, so we don't have to do it individually by ourselves. So for the piccolos, I'm going to change these into blue also just like that, but you don't need to do it for all of them. I'll show you how to change them all at once later. And then for trumpets, we're going to change the first one to yellow just like that. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click separator. I'm going to go right click on the channel track, on the mixer track I mean, and then click separator. So it separates it like that. And now we could click the piccolo with the right click and then click auto color group right over here. And just like that, all the woodwinds are now blue, and we're going to do the same trick with the brass. Auto color group. Okay, now that that's done, we're just going to click another separator. There we go. We have all our instruments in mixer tracks and bisection. So now our last thing we're going to do is we're going to add in like the main mixer tracks for all of them. So for example, over here, I'm going to start with woodwinds. And then we're going to make 2 of these, and I'll tell you why. Woodwinds. So what we're going to do first is we're going to click this one, we're going to deselect this one. So instead of being linked to the master track, we're going to now link it to the second one right here. So what I like to do is I like to create these 2. The first one, I'm going to add in my reverb. Okay, I'm going to add in spaces too. Okay, after my reverb is added, I'm just going to click, just going to go into presets, click a quick preset, classical digital. Okay. So now that my reverb is loaded, I have one track with the reverb and one track without. Okay, now that the reverb is loaded, I'm going to click Control Shift, and I'm going to click the second woodwind, and then click Alt, and then click the left arrow key, and then we could move this all the way to the very beginning. Ooh, that was too far. Okay, so let's do that. And here we are. So now what we want to do is we want to click right click, then we're going to dock to the left, and this one will also be docked to the left. This way we could keep that there as we're scrolling through the mixer track. I'm going to color this blue, just like the other woodwinds. So the important thing about having one track with reverb and one track without is that you could be more flexible on how much reverb each instrument gets. So if I want the piccolo to have reverb, I'm just going to add that in there. Flute, I want reverb. Oboe, yes. However, if you want to, let me move this. However, if you want to have extra reverb for bassoon or more specific reverb for bassoon, what I would do is I would add in reverb to this track itself. Just so I could be quick, I'm just going to add in fruity reverb. Okay, so it has reverb in this track, but instead of putting it here, I'm going to be putting it into the track with no reverb. This way, it doesn't get extra reverb and you could be more flexible. So now I'm going to do that with all the other sections, and for default, just link it all to the one with the reverb so it could stay consistent. And then if you don't need the reverb, you could just change it later. Alright, now that we're finally done with our whole template and linking everything up, we're going to click File, right here, File, and Save As. And then my project's already called Orchestral Template. So now we're going to go to Documents, Image Line, Data, FL Studio, and then Projects, and then here's Templates. So just go through there, and then just gonna click Save. To view your template, all you need to do is close your current project and reopen a blank project. And after you have opened the blank project, if you click File, New from Template, you can see that it has been added to your list of templates. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and if this video has helped you out, please hit the like button. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.